And it's a great pleasure to be here with some good friends and colleagues. Judith Blake, the leader of Leeds City Council, done a fantastic job in standing up for this city, and she and I had many wet and happy memories of trying to deal with the flooding crisis, and today we pray for rain. So Judith, thank you for everything that you do for the city and our people in it. And to my colleagues Hilary Benn and Richard Bergen, brilliant MPs for this city, standing up for this city. Thank you for coming along here this morning. And I'm absolutely delighted to be speaking alongside Angela Rayner, our next Education Secretary, and Becky Long-Bailey, our next Business Secretary. They're absolutely brilliant individuals, done a fantastic job in what has turned out to be a very short Parliament. But there's a bit of an advantage in that. It gets them round the cabinet table a bit quicker than it would otherwise have taken. So I'm looking forward to you doing those jobs in government. You'll hear from Angela very shortly about our detailed plans for education, training and skills. There are 4 weeks left of this general election campaign, and I hope every one of you in this room is registered to vote, and I hope every student in this college, and indeed every other college, is registered to vote. Use your democratic right. A positive message which we're going to take across the country is simply this, that we want to see a better country. A Britain in which everyone has the opportunity to fulfil their potential. A Britain which works literally for the many and not just the few. Because if you're stuck on a 0 hours contract, you don't know what you're going to earn from 1 week to the other, or if you have talents but can't afford the tuition fees to develop them, or you're stuck in a job that you hate, then you are being held back. Labour is on your side. We want you to succeed. Because those who aren't held back are those who are hoarding huge levels of wealth or enormous influence. Those who jealously cling on to privilege and power. They don't want any of that to change. They work together to make sure things don't change. It's no coincidence that we learn from this week's Sunday Times Rich List that 1/3 of those on the list donate to the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party looks after money, and money looks after the Conservative Party. It's a virtuous circle. Try to disrupt this, and you find yourself meeting a great deal of hostility. Question how things are, and you encounter abuse. Ask those at the top to pay a little more towards society, and us, are maligned. That's how the system is rigged. And that's how it stays rigged. But I say to this, it doesn't have to be this way. We're asking you to join with us to help us make the change we can all enjoy. On the same day that the Sunday Times Rich List came out, my friend, our Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer, John McDonnell, set out a different form of change. He unveiled Labour's plan to upgrade our economy. Because without an upgraded economy, there can be no fairer Britain. As John said, it means government understanding that education, childcare, housing, infrastructure, and industrial strategy are the essential pillars of upgrading the economy. So this week and next, we're setting out our detailed plans for each pillar of our plan to upgrade the economy. We all benefit from an upgraded economy that preserves the long-term survival of our public services, so much under threat. We've said a Labour government will build 1 million homes and tackle the excesses of the private rental market. We want to put an end to our workforce being priced out of living near to where they work. Labour wants families to spend more time together. But it's no good making progress in housing for our workforce if it's not equipped to take the opportunities made possible by an upgraded economy. So today, Angela will be putting forth our detailed plans for education, skills and training. A higher skilled and confident workforce is a must-have for a fairer Britain negotiating in a post-Brexit world. Our businesses, both large and small, will prosper on the back of education, skills and training finally being given serious attention by a very serious government. So it's only fair that businesses should be asked to contribute to the plan by financing the steps that we are setting out today. And we will do this by reversing the tax cuts made by the Conservatives and still keep UK rates of corporation tax at the lowest of the group of 7 most industrialised countries. It's what we term our new settlement. When it comes to small businesses, the backbone of our economy, a Labour government will restore small profits rates and make only a modest increase. And to the owners and the leadership of larger businesses and corporations, we will slowly raise your level of corporation tax to 26% by the end of the next Parliament. It was 28% when the coalition government came into office in 2010. Again, this is actually below the level of the last Labour government. Inclusive, fair and costed. That's our plan to upgrade our economy. That's how we will transform Britain. And it's what you vote on June the 8th is all about. Angela will set out our belief in education for all, from cradle to grave, because it's Labour investment that will ensure people are not held back. Don't let the Conservatives hold you back. Don't let the Conservatives hold this country back. I want now, because I'm just the warm-up act, to introduce our Shadow Education Secretary, Angela Rayner, to set out her vision for a national education service. Angela is somebody that has fought against very difficult odds to achieve the position she now occupies. She's an inspiration to a very large number of young people all over the country, because they see in Angela somebody who didn't have all the advantages that many others do in childhood as a young person. But by her determination to learn, study, strive and get on and work for the good of others, she was elected to Parliament, and I'm very proud that she's our Shadow Education Secretary. So can I introduce to you the next Education Secretary, Angela Rayner.
Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you all for being here today. And to the people of this country, I say this: you have a clear choice on June the 8th. A choice between a Conservative government that has let you and your children down, or a Labour government that will stand up for you and provide a better education and life chances for all. The Conservatives said they would look after our children, but instead they've cut the funding to state schools, abolished education maintenance allowance and tripled tuition fees. Over the past 7 years, the Tories have been dismantling the incredible legacy of the last Labour government. And it has across the economy too. This Conservative government has held you back. If you're a teacher living the reality of falling investment and rising class sizes, you're being held back. If you're a parent like I am and your children aren't getting the education they deserve because class sizes are too high, then our children are being held back. It's truly frightening that school budgets are being cut for the first time in 20 years.
Well, let's